Hello, beauties and estheticians and beauty professionals. Welcome to today's episodes of the Esthetician Club. My name is Karina and I am going to be your host today. Today, I'm going to be talking about choosing your product line when you are a solo esthetician or when you're starting your solo or your business. So, like always, I tell you a little bit about my story and then I tell you some of my recommendations. So, when I first started my first business, which I always talk about, I was working with PCA Skin and it was actually a great line. I really love working with them and for them. And then for my second business, now I use a little bit of a skin scripts for my enzymes. I use Lyra Clinicals for my peels, and I use uh, Circadia for my oxygen treatment. And I use, what other line do I use? I think that's about all that I use right now. Trying to remember. So these are the lines that I am working with. So what are how did I choose these lines and what are my recommendations to finding these lines? So the first line I chose, I was a brand new esthetician. I did not know a lot about a lot of products. In school, we used Pavonia, and Pavonia is a very large line, which I did not want to go for because I was new to the industry and I was new to the business and I did not want to invest in a large line. I still did not have that much traffic. I still did not have that much clientele and I didn't want the product to be sitting in my shelf. So I knew that I wanted to start work with a smaller line. And going to an esthetician trade show, I met another esthetician and I was meeting other estheticians and networking with them. And one of them said PCA is the best. They have so much education. And at the time, there wasn't Facebook groups or there wasn't that many options for me to look at. So I said, okay, I'm going to check them out. I checked them out and I went to their training. They had a 3-day training to be able to use their products. So I was really excited. I was fresh out of school. So I learned so much in the training. I learned more. I felt like I learned more in the 3-day training than I had learned in school. So I'm very big on choosing lines that are going to have a lot of education. So uh, through this process, my second time choosing a line, it was years later. So about 5 years later or more, maybe 7 years later, and at this time there was Facebook groups, so I had a little more time, I did a lot more research. So even before I started my business, I connected with other estheticians on the groups and I searched the groups. Sometimes you don't want to go in the groups and just ask for questions. You could always search the groups and the questions have already been asked. So I searched some of the groups and I wanted to see what names were coming up for me. And the one name that was coming up a lot was Skin Script. I think that was the top name that I saw. So I started with Skin Script. So one of the things that they said, it was like little minimum to open the account and they had like $7 shipping fee, which they still do for any order, and they had really good customer service and training, so it had everything that I was looking for. And I got the kit during that time. I was pregnant with my baby, so there was a lot of products that I couldn't try, so I was trying the products. I joined a skin script group. Everyone had really good things to say about it, so that's the line that I started with. The other good option that they have is that they actually drop ship, so you could order a product, they won't put the receipt in there, and they'll send it straight to your client. First thing that I recommend for you to find a line is for you to ask other estheticians to see before and after of their work, see what is working for them. But before you do that, you also have to think about what services are you providing? What do you want to specialize in? What are you going to focus on? So some statisticians will focus on all skin types and some statisticians will focus on a specific condition or skin concern. So you want to think about, are you going to be general or are you focusing on a specific condition? For me, I my biggest interest when starting my own business is that I really wanted to help people with acne because in my area I had not heard of or had not seen anyone mention anything about having acne treatments or someone helping or someone recognized for the acne treatment. So I saw this as an opportunity and it was a very rewarding part of the field for me to work on. So when I started, I knew that I wanted to focus on this, but I also was new and was scared. So I was like, I need to focus on everyone to start off because I need to be able to build clientele to pay my bills and to sustain myself before I could really what I want to focus on. Which, that's helpful, but you don't necessarily have to always go that route. You could start with whatever it is that you want to focus on and just attract those clients into your business and just focus from the beginning. So, but I know that it's scary, so you might want to look for a line that also offers uh, other options for other skin types or carrying different lines for the concerns that you want. So that's one of the things that I think you should focus on first. Just knowing what you want to be helping and treating so that you're looking for the right line because every line is different. There's natural lines, there's lines that are going to focus more on peeling, there's lines that are going to focus more on acne, aging. So you want to know what's in your heart and what you want to be focusing on. So if I keep looking down, I'm just looking at my notes. Um, so then the next thing, once you're thinking about this focus that you're going to have, you're going to want to start investigating the lines, watching videos, looking for information on them, and seeing what their brand philosophy is. One of the things that, for example, Dermalogica, when I started out, they were exclusively to estheticians, and now they're sold, I think, on Ulta and other department stores and online or Amazon. I'm not sure about Amazon, but I know that they're sold in department stores. So that's one of the research that you want to do. The brand that you are wanting to carry, is their philosophy to grow into a mass market or is their philosophy to stay with the esthetician? I think this is also very important because we work very hard to help clients to make decisions about their skincare and to also build our revenue because this is a second form of income for us. When we are selling products, we are able to make additional income and it is part of our revenue. So you want to make sure that this line is very geared towards estheticians and staying with estheticians. Some companies, like I have said before, they're not going to tell you up front that they're thinking about going into the masses, but some of them will be very adamant about saying we are for estheticians only. One of the lines that I have come across that keeps that in their message, or I received that in their message during training, was DMK. So I am looking into this line, and they are for the esthetician. So I'm considering this line. I do want to do more research. I have heard some negative things about their customer service, but sometimes you have to look beyond depending on the results that this company is providing. So you might not get the perfect all around company, but you do want to do your research and make sure that you are willing to work with certain things and what is most important for you. So for me, it is important to keep that brand as esthetician only because I want to as I'm growing my business and recommending products to my clients, I want to be able to keep those clients, keep them coming back for products, and be able to grow my revenue in this avenue as well. So that is important for me. The other thing that's important for me is continuing education. There's always new things coming on, and the better you understand your product, the better you're able to handle it and use it and get the best results. If you're not understanding the product, it's going to be hard for you to use it in the best way and gets the best results. I mean, with time, you're always going to learn with any line, but the sooner, like I always say, the sooner that you learn, the sooner that you're going to get there. So we want to save that time. Uh, you also want to see, like I said, before and after from other estheticians, see how their clients are reacting to this, to these products, to these lines, what results are they getting, and what skin condition they have and what results they're getting. Because you don't want to use a line that's having really good results for, let's say, pigmentation, and you're trying to work with acne. So you want to make sure that the results that you're seeing are for the conditions that you want to work with. um, like always say in my other episodes too, is that you have to follow your gut. Your gut. I believe that we have someone guiding us, or connection to God or source or whatever it is that you believe in, and that somehow that gives us that gut feeling, and we get that gut feeling if we're moving in the right direction or not. When I found Lyra, I saw before and after, so that's one of the lines that I work with right now. I saw before and after pictures with them. I liked all the ingredients. I liked the training, education that they had. The only concern that I had is that they were available on Amazon, and I know that some companies have fake companies creating products, and some companies say that. So I was against the wall about it, but I had a gut feeling that this product was something that was going to help me achieve the results that I wanted with the clients that I was working on. So I continued to work with them. I just follow my gut, and that's something that you want to follow too. So another thing that that I covered earlier is also the line size. So for example, Lyra was for me a comfortable size line. I didn't want to work with a big line that had so many SKUs and so many products. So this was a good option for me. If you are able to invest and you want to carry a lot of products, you could also uh, look into that line and just carry the products that you're going to need for the customers that you have. But sometimes it just gets a little tricky with that. So, but you want to know how big is the line and how much you're willing to invest in the products available in that line. The other thing I had already mentioned is also how much are you willing to pay upfront to open an account. So some accounts have like a $5,000 opening. Like I said, my clientele was small, so I couldn't carry a big line, and I didn't want to. I want to keep products fresh and products moving all the time, so I didn't want to carry such a big line. And sometimes I feel like so many products is just could be complicating with a lot of sometimes the same ingredients you could use for different concerns. So for me, Lyra has worked out because, for example, for acne, I could use it for, sorry, retinol, I could use it for acne, and I could use it for anti-aging. So, and I could mix it with other products that they have specifically for that. The other thing that you might want to keep in mind is shipping. How long is their shipping? Um, and how expensive it is if they give you that information. For me, Lyra was actually a good option. I mean, I always make bigger orders. I always have continuous orders to place, so I just pay the fee for them to ship my products. SkinScript has a really good option. Like I said, they do the drop shipping and they do the $7 shipping, so that's also really good. But for other reasons, I don't use them as much anymore because I'm focusing on acne, and they don't have that many acne products, or they don't have the acne products that I want to carry. You also want to consider services. So I mentioned I do carry Circadia. Lyra didn't have an oxygen treatment, so it wasn't going to give me that service option. So I needed to carry another line. I don't carry their products, but I do carry that specific product for that service. So some companies will not have you carry their products, and they'll still give you as access to carrying the back bar products, so that you could provide that service without carrying the full line. One of the things that I did like about PCA that is not available for example, for Lyra or Hella Hush that I carry right now, is that they don't have like little travel sizes. So that's a good option to have whenever you want to get started with a client. Sometimes they want to try the product, and samples sometimes are not going to give them enough time to try them. So it's always good if the company has those trial products. It could be a good and a bad thing, because sometimes it is not going to be a good thing if they just want to try it and then they don't commit to it. So they'll commit to it longer if they have a bigger size. But I mean, that's beyond the point. For me, that is a good option, but it's not a breaking deal for me to choose uh, that as important for my line. But if for you it is important to have those options, I know Skin Script now carries small sizes or smaller sizes, travel sizes. I know PCA carries them. I know DMK has like kids, small kids. Lyra doesn't have that. They only have one travel size kit that they have available. So for me, I have been fine without it. But if this is important to you, so how to use that line for the condition that you're trying to treat. Sometimes you'll be able to use that line, but you want to make sure that you, depending on your knowledge and what you have been trained, that you know that works for certain conditions. You want to make sure that that line carries it. For example, I was trained by Face Reality, so I knew that I wanted to work with benzoyl peroxide, salicylic, retinol. So I knew that Lyra had it, so that was accessible to me. With and then the name of the product was actually really easy to recognize those things. And with Skin Script, I was having a hard time identifying which product do I need, because the name is just different. You just have to really break down the ingredients and see if they're going to work for you. So if you just want to make your life easier, make sure that it's very understandable from the beginning what products have what ingredients. Thank you so much for joining me today. Make sure that you're following me on Instagram at the Esthetician Club, and that you also look for the Facebook group, the Esthetician Club, where, for example, today I was recording live. Um, and I share my live recording of this podcast on the group so that they're able to see it before you guys even get to hear it on the podcast. Like always, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.